Yeah, oh yeah. Good evening. So this is just a open video. I don't have a particular topic in mind. It's hard to put together anything like a theme or anything like that because I'm working hard all day long, and just to get a video up now is a big effort because at the end of the day I'm pretty much spent. However, I've got a little bit of energy tonight, so I'm going to do my best here. Where to begin? So I'm still a plant-based omnivore, and that what I'm practicing here, if you've just tuned into my channel, is that I eat meat once a week. So 6 days out of the week, I'm plant-based, and on the seventh day, which is usually a Friday, sometimes it's a Saturday, I will eat a meat dinner, and it's from non-factory farm sources. My main kinds of meat that I have been eating has been sockeye, salmon, and venison. So going more for the wild game kind of thing. And what's interesting though, now prior to this, I've been doing this for, I guess has it been 3 months now, getting around there. Prior to that, I was a vegan for 9 years, and I was warned that if I do this, I'll, just end up going back to eating the way I did before, that, meat, animal products are addictive, and before I know it, I will be eating, an animal product every day, 3 times a day kind of thing, because it's like drugs. If anything, the opposite has been the case. I find myself having to consciously make an effort to remember that, yes, today's the day that I have my meat dinner. And it's, for me, because, being vegan for 9 years, eating 100% plant-based during that time, I have all my eating habits are oriented towards plants, and I've figured out how to do this in a healthy way. And so with the introduction of animal products again, even though it's only once a week, it actually is, it's still not a part of my habitual, what am I trying to say here? It's not an ingrained habit. Let's just put it that way. But anyway, so, but I'm still doing this because I think it's the right thing to do. I do not believe that for most people, remaining 100% plant-based for over a decade is necessarily good in terms of personal health. If you're doing it for ethical reasons, then you don't care about your health. I never was doing it for ethical reasons. Now, let me talk about a video that I just saw recently by Izel Lizard. I'm really growing to dislike this man. Before I mean, I've never really liked him, but I respected him. I thought he had some intelligent things to say. But the more you watch somebody, you get more, you hear the same stuff over again, and you begin to realize that, they're not as deep as you originally thought they were. But not only that, you begin to really see what their agenda is all about. And the last video that I watched of his, I don't even remember which one it is. I'm not going to even put a link to it because I don't remember what it is, and I might even be misquoting him here, but I'm going to give you sort of a general idea of what he was getting at. And he was talking about how vegans being a, vegans are not only a minority, but we are I shouldn't say we because I'm not vegan anymore, but vegans are disrespected by everybody else who are not vegans, that Hindus get more respect. And sort of the kind of the message that I felt I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but based on previous videos that I've watched of his, I don't think so. The overall message I was getting from that was that he was trying to play the victim card for vegans. Vegans are a minority. Vegans are, on a certain level, an oppressed minority. Therefore, politically, vegans should be in a special class and receive special treatment like any minority group that has experienced persecution in the past, like the gay community, for example. This is, an interesting direction that he's going in, and I can see why he's doing that, but I think it's a terrible mistake, and I think it's completely wrong. Yes, vegans are a minority, but they are not an oppressed minority or a disrespected minority. That depends on you as a vegan. And I say this as an experienced past vegan. In all the 9 years that I was vegan, I don't think I ever once experienced any kind of oppression from meat eaters, from non-vegans. In fact, in most every case where I was in a social setting that, involved eating, where there were non-vegans and I was the only vegan or one of the few vegans in that context, the people that I was with were actually quite intrigued by the fact that I was following a plant-based diet. And that opened the door for some very interesting conversations centered around veganism. And I've been in some pretty important social settings, mainly because my ex-wife, she's in the financial industry, and through her connections, I was able to, mingle with some pretty important people who I would consider to be important, quite successful people. And these would be, the people who would also have very strong opinions about various things. I think what the issue is yes, you're going to be treated poorly. You're going to get a negative experience as a vegan if you're being a dick about it, if you're being a fanatic about it, if you are coming across as being judgmental towards those who are not vegan, if you're on a campaign to convert people and you're wearing your vegan t-shirt and you're out there, spewing out your vegan cliches to everybody, yes, you are going to be disrespected because you do not have respect for others who are not of your point of view and who do not follow your diet. So of course, they're going to be offended because you're offending them. And in turn, in most cases, people will not tolerate that. They won't have the patience for that. You may come across some people who can, it doesn't bother them, but in many cases, people will react and will retaliate against that. Especially, if you take it to the next level where you spout out things like meat eaters should die and that kind of a conversation, that kind of fanaticism. Now that gets even scary for those who are not vegan. But I personally never had that attitude. I've always respected other people's life decisions. And I've pretty much, in most cases, been able to engage in dialogue with those who are not of the same line of thinking as I am. And it's simply because I really did respect their position, their choices in life. And I listened to them. I heard what they had to say. And in that respect, there's a conversation between two people, or how many people there are in whatever social setting you're in, right? So yeah, I mean, if you're on your soapbox preaching at people, they're going to turn you off at some point. They're not going to want to hear what you have to say. So, yeah, Izel Lizard, listen, he's becoming more popular amongst vegans. He's like the alternative to Freely and Harley. Like he claims he's not interested in being a leader of the vegan movement or community or whatever it is, but I would not trust that man, honestly. But that's up to you. I'm not a part of the vegan community, but what I do care about is that there are a lot of young people out in the world today. And I see it with my daughter's friends. She's 16 years old. And there's one thing I believe a lot of young people today are longing for is some sense of purpose in life and somebody they can look up to. I mean, some of my daughter's friends, they talk to me about their parents and they want leadership from them. They're not getting it. They're just not getting it. So, I guess as parents, as elders, we've sort of failed the younger generation, and they are vulnerable to charismatic figures that come online and start preaching their message. And I think that's why veganism has become so popular among young people, especially young girls, teenage girls and young women. It has a certain appeal. And to follow such a movement gives you a sense of purpose, a sense of direction in life. But just be warned is all I can say. I understand it. Like after I graduated from high school, I was looking for a sense of purpose as well. I turned to Christianity at the time. I became a born-again Christian, was really fanatical about that. I was a Christian fundamentalist for a number of years. And same deal, I was out trying to evangelize and convert everybody. And I drove my friends and my family members crazy because that's, all that mattered to me. But, you have experiences in life that humble you, that make you rethink things again. And it's not that you necessarily have abandoned your experience that you had that was so profound at the time, but you reach a point where it's necessary to modify it. And yeah, I think I've said enough so far. I'm amazed I've gone this far into the video. What else? Yeah, I'm just working hard. And yeah, I got nothing. I'm done. See you later, guys. Take care.